I've been wanting to play a Mortician's Tale for a while, so let's do it. Alright. Hello and welcome to our new funeral director. I'm gonna scroll down and read the first one. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce our new funeral director, Charlotte, or Charlie, as she told me she likes. Charlie is a recent grad who came highly recommended and is eager to begin her career here with us at Rose and Daughters Funeral Home. Please take the time to make Charlie feel at home within our little family. We'll have a nice catered lunch this afternoon so we can all get to know each other a little better as well. So, Amy Rose. Welcome, Charlie. Nice to meet you. My name's Matthew, and I'm mainly going to be the man who delivers the bodies to you. Helps with some of the more heavy lifting. Ever hear that joke about a hearse driver? I'll tell it to you when I come by in a bit. Looking forward to working together. I think you'll enjoy working here. Amy's a sweetheart, but she runs a tight ship. Nothing you can't handle, I'm sure. She wouldn't have hired you otherwise. So here are instructions. In our office prep room is the cremation station, cremulator station, embalming station, and the desk and computer area. Good luck, you beautiful and smart babe, you. I guess my subject lines to you should start being more professional now that we are business professionals. I can't wait to get your reply so I can see your fancy new email signature. I love that you were able to land this gig straight after graduating. It sounds super cool. I didn't even know mom and pop funeral homes were a thing until now. Guess it's not something I really think that much about. I should look more into this, learn more about your world and industry, because as I said, you are now a very serious professional. Speaking of being a professional, my museum gig is amazing. I can't believe someone paid me to move to London, not London, Ontario, serial killer capital of Canada. I don't believe that. Sorry, I'm from Ontario. To work in a museum. I don't think that London is a serial... I'm going to look that up later. Like, take everyone who said I couldn't get a job with an art history degree. I'll tell you more about it when we Skype. My stories require you to see my face and that you hear my excellent British accent impersonation. Also, I signed you up for a funerals monthly newsletter. Consider it your grad gift. I love you, am super proud of you gift. Love you, love you, love you, love you. Right now, I'm looking up serial killer capital of Canada. Oh, it is London. In the 60s and the 70s, 3 separate serial killers with sensational nicknames were terrorizing the university town. I don't think of it as a university town. The Chambermaid Slayer, the Mad Slasher, and the Balcony Strangler. I have an aunt who used to live there. Auto response there. So from Amy, hope you settled in okay so far. Matthew should have dropped off your first body for you to work on. He said you were really friendly and he's glad to have someone young and lively to work with. You'll get used to his sense of humor. Your first body is Mrs. Garcia, an elderly woman who died suddenly of a heart attack. Family has asked for a closed casket funeral, so no embalming or body prep is necessary. The family seems a little bit more united than previous families we've dealt with. Strange how grief affects people differently. Perhaps having more time to say goodbye makes things a bit easier, if that's possible. That being said, although you will not be embalming Mrs. Garcia, I do think it's important to take the time to clean her body. No one's going to see it, but I like to encourage my funeral directors to do this out of respect for the deceased and their loved ones. You'll find Mrs. Garcia in the prep room. Good etiquette for attending a funeral. Funerals are a hard time and we understand that. Here's some quick and easy rules to remember for being respectful. Following the lines of don't be a jerk. Don't be on your cell phone. Don't be loud and obnoxious. Don't get drunk. Happily reminisce. Sometimes remembering happy moments and positive experiences with the deceased can be a productive part of the healing process. Give condolences. Dress appropriately. What this looks like will change based on the customs of the deceased and their culture. Give a gift or sign the registration book. Rose and Daughters. Holy shit. Burial with open casket ceremony and reception. So, holy shit. Even if you're getting cremated, $1,700. $600 to get cremated. Just kind of sucks. Wait. Oh, I have to auto-reply to that. My bad. There we go. So this is Mrs. Garcia. Prepare the bodies for burials and viewings. Closed casket, no embalming, so we're just gonna clean it. Click on the sponge. And clean her up. Huh. It's kind of weird imagining if I had a dead body in front of me that I'm just wiping down. Alright, so now we're going to the funeral. I work with seniors, so sometimes I see people who've died or people who are dying. But I don't quite have experience with this side, aside from being like an attendee of a funeral. Is that all I need to do? We don't usually small talk. At least that's what I was always taught. I hate wearing pantyhose. These seem like completely normal. Okay, so this guy was wondering if embalming was required by law. Embalming weirds me out. Do those chemicals leach into the ground? Seems strange to be using a chemical that's known to cause cancer and putting it in the ground like that. Or in the sewer. What do they do with the leftover formaldehyde? Just pour it down the drain? At least embalming guarantees you won't be buried alive. My god. Should have hated those paintings. At least she doesn't have to see them. Am I done here? Yes. Yes, I am. Coming! It didn't even let me go the first time. I am so frustrated right now. Let me explain this in a little bit more detail. A colleague and I were discussing the tight-laced liver specimen we have at the museum. I wonder what kind of museum she works at. Oh, the pathology museum. I am such a dumb. Oh. I'll read that one after too. It's from a woman who died in 1907, and the liver is taped inwards from what the doctor leading the autopsy believed was too tight lacing on her corset. It's fascinating because it's kind of a controversial topic. Tight lacing was super popular, and while people associated it with fainting or hysteria, it's actually been associated with visceruptosis, which is when the organs fall to the lower part of the abdomen. Whoa. Just super unsettling, can also be caused by being pregnant, so. Too long, don't read. Corsets probably messed up some bones, but likely didn't do this kind of internal organ damage. And I'm tired of the condescension about my wardrobe that also implies I don't know what I'm doing. These are the things kinds of things I specifically research, yet I'm treated like I know nothing about. I'm having a day, Charlie. Can I just rant for a second? I think this one actually came first. Yes. I am so tired of hearing strangers, colleagues, anybody, male colleagues, get on my case for wearing corsets. I wear them under my blazer, over a nice blouse, so it's not like I'm dressing inappropriately, even though dress codes are such sexist bullshit anyways. I hate how their misogyny gets veiled in faux concern. Jen, I'm just worried you're damaging your body. You know what corsets do to livers, right? Corsets don't do anything to livers. They're definitely not hurting me as much as your condescension is hurting my head. Ugh, sorry, I'm out of sorts right now. I'll send you another email in a little bit when I've cooled off. Hi Amy, please pass along our deepest thanks to you and your wonderful staff for the wonderful job they did with our mother's funeral. It was really lovely. Our family so rarely gets together. It was nice seeing everyone come out for such a beautiful service. My son never gets to see his family. Also, it was incredibly kind of you to let us bring our own food in. Getting to share home-cooked meals, sharing stories, being there together, it meant a lot. So, what I'm saying is, it was nice for everyone to be there like that, together in that way. And I know how much of that work was due to the work of your staff, especially your funeral director. Thank you for making this difficult time easier for all of us. Story about death. I was driving around the other day, taking our clients on their last trip around town, and I was thinking, did I ever tell you about the first time I went to a funeral? I was a teenager, about to start university, and a friend of mine was killed. Car accident, totally out of the blue. Really tragic stuff, messed me and my friends up real good. But so the big day, we all got into our best suits and dresses and packed ourselves into a few cars. There were a lot of us, so we had at least 3 different cars full of us, like clown cars, While we're in the procession going to the cemetery, somebody in our car got a phone call from a friend in a different car. Turns out some asshat driver, who doesn't know not to get in the way of a procession, drove through the intersection and smashed straight into our friend's car. Nobody was hurt, thank God, but can you imagine getting that call? Anyway, one of my friends in the same car as me, the one who got the call, hung up and started laughing. Just laughing her ass off in that way that makes you not sure if they're really just crying or if they've gone fully off the deep end. And she laughed, and we all started giggling, because, go figure. Life's pretty messed up sometimes, There's no moral, no point to the story, I guess. I just remembered that story I wanted to tell you. Because we work with death all the time, and I still sometimes get caught off guard by what that actually means. Before you get any ideas, this has nothing to do with why I became a funeral director. That decision came totally later, and nothing unremarkable. Somebody has to do it, and I have a strong stomach, so why not? What to wear? Oh, interesting. I'm gonna just kind of hold it here for a sec. You can pause if you wanted to read this. And here's the next instructions. Mr. Duval, elderly man, died of old age. Standard funeral with embalming. You can reach out to his daughter if she has any if I have any questions. Okay. Traditional burials typically require embalming. So it always has embalming unless they say not to. So clean the body first. Looks like he has maggots, but I'm guessing that's just hair. I'm assuming I'm gonna shave him. Yes. This makes me think of those flash games. And massage the body to break rigor mortis. Interesting. Oh, the eyeballs deflate once the body starts decomposing. Click and drag an eye cap into each socket to give it shape. Whoa. You have to glue the eyes shut. The mouth sags and hollows. Click and drag a cotton ball into the mouth to give it shape. Oh, and then I have to sew it shut. Wow. Moisturize the body so it doesn't dry out. Embalming involves removing blood and replacing it with preserving chemicals. Huh. And then I need a tube. What's a cannula? Is this a okay, yes, this is a cannula. Drag it into... Okay. Connect the embalming machine to the cannula. Grab more tubing. There we go. And then turn on the machine. I have to massage the body to evenly distribute the chemicals. Huh. I didn't know this. So the blood comes out of the body. What do you do with all that blood after? How do you biofluids, like organs and stuff. I suppose organs get incinerated. And then I'm assuming sew it back up, yes. And drain the organs of any remaining fluids. Click on the trocar. I'm assuming this is the trocar. And hold on the abdomen until all the fluid has been drained. Oh, okay. Oops. This is so different. Okay. Oh, and now we do his makeup and get him dressed. Oh, somebody else does that. So they called the driver, the hearse driver, a funeral director as well. Like, I don't understand. He always wanted to take his grandkids to the park, play catch. Threw a mean curveball. And just a kid. Oh, I like this music. Oh, that was the music of his game. So strange not seeing most people wearing white. White? Yeah, I think it's different from different family members. I can't remember. I haven't gone to many traditional family funerals. So mostly white, but like definitely not red, no matter what. I wonder what culture that's from. Came out of nowhere. 1 minute you're laughing, having fun, and then poof. Weird to think about. I start to feel all fuzzy. Yeah, everyone has a different relationship to death. Oh, wow, these months are just flying by. I think we started on October 11th. Let's see what Jen's up to. Meet cutes for death-positive cuties. Charlie, I was doing some reading, but hear me out. There's this dating site that's specifically for people working in the death industry. Okay, so maybe I'm a little worried for you. You haven't mentioned anybody since the breakup of 2014. What year are we in now? That we will never speak of again after this moment. But you're always saying how tired you get of people being scared to ask about your day. So maybe meeting someone in the industry isn't the worst idea. Just promise me you'll consider it, okay? It's harder for me to make sure you're seeing sunlight when I'm all the way across the ocean. I know you look like a babe with pale skin and witchy gothy aesthetics are super hot right now, but vitamin D is still a good thing. Mom rant over. I'm gonna try it out because it turns out people get super scared off when you tell them you work in a museum filled with dead bodies. Do you know how not interesting other people find teratomas? Charlie, I didn't know we were this weird to outside people. I've been spoiled by having a best friend who's as much of a weirdo as I am. Miss you. Let's grab a bottle of wine for our next Skype date. Man, they were doing virtual dates the right way pre-pandemic. P.S. If you sign up for Dead Meat, Tinder rules apply. You have to like me if you come across my profile or whatever. I'm not sure how it works just yet. LGBTQ funerals. So the CDC. Fetal death reporting. So enter male or female based on observation. Do not abbreviate. If you cannot be determined by using medical records, inspection of the body, or other sources, enter unknown. People who are trans deserve the same respect in death that people who are cisgender receive. Listen to the people who come into your office. In America, especially, some marriages may not be recognized as legal depending on the laws. This doesn't mean you're not dealing with two people who've loved each other. That's really interesting. Because yeah, I don't like this section here. It's not really going to do it right, probably. Paycheck coming late. This is embarrassing, but it seems I miscalculated some of our income and I don't have enough to pay you this week. Would it be terribly inconvenient if I cut you a check for next week instead? If you need the money urgently, please let me know. I feel terrible about this whole thing, and I can cut you a check from my personal account if need be. Oh. That's, yikes. I don't like the look of this, not one bit. I know you've only been with us for a few months, but maybe you're aware of the trouble Amy's been having? A small mom and pop shop like Rose and Daughters can't compete with the bigger guys. Anyway, don't tell Amy I sent this to you. I'm starving, so I'm gonna grab some fast food before taking the hearse through the car wash and swinging back to the home. Do you want anything? Beef and cheddar? I'm gonna take the hearse through the drive-thru, of course. It freaks people out. I love it. They get so awkward. And another thank you note. And we're gonna cremate a woman who died from breast cancer. Doesn't even have her name this time. If you haven't thought about these kinds of things before, it is a good idea to do it. I was gonna say, she's wearing stuff. I'm assuming you cremate somebody when they're naked. We need to be able to identify her remains after she's been cremated. Okay, so put the tag and place it in the coffin. Oh, she gets cremated in her clothes. She also gets cremated in a coffin? Huh. And I guess that's her now. This is the cremulator. Cremulator? Cremation doesn't turn bodies into ash as much as bone fragments. So you break down the bone fragments until it's kind of like ash. So put the urn and drag it in there. I can drag the bone fragments. Interesting. Wow, like a full-on skull too. And put it back. Put her necklace into the urn. Oh, interesting. And the tag. Huh. That's really sweet that like her necklace is in there with her. I don't have anything, I think, right now that I would want with my dead body. I would want my wedding rings to be given to my family, I believe. Excuse me, I'm yawning. She would have hated this music. Oh yeah, people always say that. No being sad at my funeral. Sorry, I'm sad. Aw. Glad she was cremated. This is nice. In a weird way. These crab cakes are perfect. Oh, it doesn't tell us the air, okay. I want a cup of coffee. I don't have any milk in the house. Oh, gosh. It is with a very heavy heart that I write to let you all know that Rose and Daughters will no longer be in business. I had no idea how to start this email, and resources I googled told me that would be the best and easiest way to break the ice. But direct but remorseful, Google said. The truth is, I don't really know what to say. Since my father passed away, I've done my best to make Rose and Daughters warm and friendly to anyone who chose to use our services. It was my memorial to him, the original Rose, in a lot of ways. And you've all become like family, including you, Charlie. But it's been getting harder to make ends meet. Rent's going up, and I'm finding less and less like I have the energy for this business. There's a lot of competition from other funeral homes, larger corporations than we are, that can take on more business, offer more impressive services. You know the way it goes. So we've been bought, or I sold. Either way, soon, Hillside Heritage Enterprises, Inc., a company that owns many funeral homes in the city and across the country, will replace Rose and Daughters starting from the beginning of next month. Same building, same name. They're keeping the name Rose and Daughters Funeral Home for tax purposes. Though honestly, I'm trying hard not to just see it as a move on their part to keep up the image that it's a family-run business. That's what I was thinking. I don't know how I feel about that, but I also don't know if there's anything I can do. I've signed the papers. At least my father's legacy is still intact somewhat. They have a good rep and have agreed to keep you all on. That was one of my stipulations. I would sell as long as you all weren't without a job. Sorry I didn't tell you in a more personal way. I would have loved to have a company lunch, but I admittedly didn't have the heart to tell you in person. This was easier for me. Please understand. And another thank you note. I don't know what to do. From Ryan to Amy. I know this email might be a bit odd, but you said if I was ever having troubles, I should reach out and you would know somebody I could talk to about all of this. I don't know what to do. I know my grandmother had lived a full, good life and was very happy, and that she's not in any pain now. But still, I feel empty, Amy. I've never felt this empty before. What am I supposed to do now? I thought I was stronger than this. Can you refer me to someone to talk to? I don't want to freak out my mom right now. She's dealing with enough, with work and the will, and trying to just be the best mom she can. I just need somebody to tell me that it'll be okay. Thank you. I'm sorry for being an inconvenience. I thought I would forward this to you. In situations like this, we typically connect people like Ryan with a grief counselor or other professionals who can really help him. Sometimes we get emails like this when people don't know where else to turn. It's difficult, and family isn't always the most reliable for some people. Normally I would be happy to connect him, but I'm feeling a little tired today. Not my usual self. And it would be good for you to start building these kinds of relationships on your own. You're a treasure, Charlie. I hope she's referring, saying she will refer him. Trying to ask Charlie to refer it. Hey, Jen! Charlie, I've been playing a new game when things are slow at work. It's called Tales from the Crypt Sweeper. It's like Minesweeper, but way harder. Seriously, it's really, really difficult. And I thought my Minesweeper game was on point after working that overnight front desk job at that hotel for 3 years. But I must have gotten rusty. Anyway, instead of mines, you want to avoid graves so you don't disturb the adorable ghosts. The main character also kind of looks like you. Want to start a healthy competition? High score gets to pick the restaurant we go to when one of us is in town next. Protecting the earth with green burials. So we've got natural cemeteries, bodies that can't be embalmed, and a biodegradable shroud or casket. Not only is this better for the environment, it's cheaper. It's just over $1,000. There's a place in Smith Falls, another Ontario town, where they turn your body into, I'm gonna say goo. Honestly, I think they just and then I think your body actually just returns to the water. I think. I read about it a couple years ago. So the father's cremated and he has a pacemaker that needs to be removed. Okay. So he doesn't have any valuables. Oh, okay, so you have to take out the pacemaker because it's a battery and it'll explode from the heat. That's what I was curious about. Because I didn't think it was this isn't where the heart is. Oh, there we go. I got it. Right, since he's being cremated, we don't have to sew him back up. Oh, sorry, I know I always do that. I say something and then I get distracted and lose my thought. I was thinking you wouldn't reuse a pacemaker? Oh, the skull is weird. There we go. That one looked like a banana. I had a friend when I was 13, and he carried around his neck a necklace with a little bit of his brother's ashes in it. Never heard of that before then. I think that was the first time I'd ever known someone who was cremated either. Wonder if he ever liked me. Huh. Why wouldn't he? I always told him to quit smoking. What do you want to do after this? Yeah. A beer would probably be good. Did you ever end up clearing the air with your father? No, we talked a few times, but no. That is something I wonder about. People who have, like, things to deal with that they didn't get to deal with. Another thank you. Mushrooms! Oh, I hate mushrooms. You hate mushrooms so much. I found the perfect thing for you. I've been thinking about death. I think I want this mushroom suit. No, it's not called that, but I can't remember the name of it, and I'm writing you on my phone, so I don't feel like Googling it. Anyway, the idea is that it's a biodegradable suit that the deceased wears. It's made with what people call a biomix, mushrooms and other microorganisms that help to decompose bodies, neutralize toxins, provide nutrients for the soil for plants. I think this one company even offers casket liners for using green caskets. I think this is what I want. It'll be just like Hannibal. I have not seen Hannibal, but what? Wait, don't tell people I said that, okay? So I'm like, I suppose I guess if she was like buried under a vegetable garden, she could be like, so now they're eating me. But seriously, it's pretty cool. I love all the death innovation happening. We might as well do something when we're in the ground, you know? Love you. Think about it and let me know your thoughts. I want all your thoughts. If it's not this, then maybe I'll have my ashes made into jewelry. But seriously, I'm probably going to do this. There's no harm in planning ahead, am I right? Things to avoid saying. At least they're no longer suffering. That's true. Who wants to be told the death of somebody they love is for the best? Were they saved? Oh yeah, that one's an obvious. They're with the angels now. Yeah, only if you know that that person is religious. Let me know how I can help. That's true, it's tricky. If you want to help, suggest specific things like, I'm free if you need someone to babysit the kids. I know how you feel. Yeah, that's true. Just say, I'm sorry. Alright, oh, am I comfortable or not? Disregard our son's will. No, as it concerns matters of his burial. He was clearly not thinking right and didn't know what he really wanted. Proceed with an open casket funeral. I was hoping you wouldn't have to confront the situation. Rose and Daughters has been asked to repair the body of a young man who took his own life. He had a will prepared and asked for cremation, but the families demanded a traditional burial instead. He didn't make anyone his POA, or didn't have any witnesses sign his living will or his advance directive. So his family's legally in the right to do whatever they want. It's unfortunate, but we have to do as his family wishes. Matthew has graciously offered to take this on if you're uncomfortable with the subject. Instead, we have a second body you can prepare for a funeral later we're hosting later the afternoon. Is the suicide something you're comfortable dealing with? It's not the suicide. I'm not going to deal with the family insisting to go against his wishes. Especially if somebody else had said that they would do it. Just doesn't seem right. I wonder if they actually would cover up a towel over her chest. Ew. Ew, the cotton balls in the mouth freaks me out. Like, just picture having, like, cotton mouth. Makes me think of Chubby Bunny. Do you ever remember playing Chubby Bunny? I don't think I did, but I knew it. Where you stick, don't do this, by the way. I think somebody actually did die from doing it. Where you stick marshmallows in your mouth and see who can fit the most marshmallows in your mouth. I'm pretty sure someone, like, suffocated and died. It just cracks me up because, like, remember, like, the Tide Pods and the Cinnamon Challenge? You know, people were like, oh my god, why are kids doing such stupid things? It's like, we always do stupid things. It's just you're hearing more about it. Or you're thinking that somehow the stupid things that we used to do weren't as bad as these stupid things. I'm finding it interesting that I'm just kind of, you know, talking away about whatever. I know this isn't a real person and a real dead body, but still. You would imagine that, you know, people working on the body, if there was someone else there, that they would also just, you know, talk about things, talk about their day. Maybe I should have done the other one so we could have seen what happened. Oh, this poor woman looks unhappy over here. Doesn't look like her. Where's Maria? She couldn't be here. And then the food. Hope she doesn't regret not going. I haven't cried since she died. Not once. How's Anna crying? Not me. I'm the one who lost a parent. It's normal. Everyone grieves differently. Aunt Sandy, you're saying all the things you're not supposed to say. I'm coming. We are pleased to bring on Rose and Daughters as part of the Hillside Heritage Enterprises, Inc. There will be another institution amongst hundreds of other properties owned across the country. But of course, as part of the adjustment process to the Hillside Heritage Enterprises, Inc., there will be a number of changes that will come to Rose and Daughters. We'll send out the memo regarding the specifics and details of these changes, and we expect them to be followed impeccably. Huh. Can I just say, first off, that this is bullcrap? Ugh. Knowing how these corporations run, I wouldn't be surprised if they're monitoring our emails now. No, I don't really believe that. I'm just upset. I get that Amy didn't have much of a choice. You can only fight a huge corporation taking all of your business for so long. And they just swooped in, and now we have to deal with their BS practices. They're colder than the corpse I picked up from the morgue this morning. Who charges this much for funerals? It feels dirty and exploitive. Let's grab a drink after work. I need to blow off some steam. And emails aren't really the most appropriate place to do this. A death cafe. Increase awareness of death with a view to helping people make the most of their finite lives. Join us, have tea and cake, and talk with others about our thoughts, fears, and illuminations on death. The founder of the Death Cafe movement, John Underwood, once said, "When people talk about death and dying, it tends to illustrate their humanity." And it was forwarded from Jen. Can't really write much right now. I have a lot of work I have to do with an inguinal hernia from 1750. It's the oldest in our collection, and you can even see this bit of paper the surgeon put in after removing the hernia. Super cool. I'll send you the link when we have it cataloged. I want to see that. What is my life? What's the sentence I just typed? But anyway, this event that I'm forwarding to you is taking place near you. Figured you might be into it. Might help with that feeling of restlessness you were talking about before. Could be good to talk to about some of the things you're feeling. Lots of death-positive people there. Sounds like it'll be a safe space. Different funeral traditions. And again, I'm going to just kind of hold that. Talks about Judaism, Madagascar, South Korea. Here's the details. After you're done, I'll review your work in order to properly evaluate you. Great. Cremation. Alright, so grab her stuff, put the tag, and cremate her. It's interesting. I like that they're going to explore what it was like when it was someone who loved her work, like Amy Rose, versus someone who this is business and that is how they make money. Whoa, where did I put that bone? Oops. My bad. Okay, the watch before the tag. Alright, here we go. I think this game is an hour and a half, and I'm honestly just going to play it all. There's a lot of people in this one. I want to see when there's like nobody. Ooh. He's glad it was a cremation. She was always so careful. Wore her helmet, signaled, used the bike lanes. What's happening to the driver? They don't know. How am I supposed to decide what to keep? I should click those a little slower just so you have a chance to... I'm glad I'm here, but wow, I just need a glass of wine and to binge watch something. Should we do a vigil at the spot? Careless drivers, I swear to God. I'm just pondering how I feel about vigils. I don't know if I have any opinions. I've never been to one. Alright. Here's the new rules. Uniform and strict dress code. No tattoos. Consider the opportunity to upsell. Always encourage the deceased loved ones to purchase higher quality packages. We find that encouraging loved ones to think of the comfort and style of the deceased as an experience with no price limit. No, food is no longer allowed to be brought in. So earlier somebody thanked us for being able to bring in their own food. Encourage loved ones to purchase our premium sandwich and appetizer food package. Our partner Catering Concepts provides high quality food that will be delivered weekly from the funeral and can easily be defrosted, oh my god, the morning of the funeral. Ugh. I will say hangry. I've reviewed your request on behalf of a potential family inquiring if we can and will perform green burials. We do not perform green burials as they're not cost effective. We do not wish to lose potential customers, so do try your hardest to convince the families requesting green burials to go with the traditional burial package. This is just gross. I suppose that's the point. I trust you will ensure we do not lose any customers, Charlotte, and refusing to use her name. I just saw a video of a gorilla walking on its hind legs. Like a human being! Why we do it. I'm just going to slowly scroll if you wanted to read it, give you a chance to pause. Latest contract acquisition. We get to dispose of unclaimed bodies. No special preparations aside from cremation. Oh, I should have checked the website because it'll look different now. Alright, so he doesn't have any valuables. This gentleman is all set. Is he a John Doe? I should have read that email better. I'm assuming there won't be a funeral service for him. Oh, sorry, I had to sneeze. I do think it's funny the way that I kind of like flip the bones in there. Oh, goes to the funeral parlor. I'm assuming nobody comes then? Yeah, no one here. We can pay our respects to the gentleman. And that way somebody has. We have a resident at my work from Jamaica, and she told me how they do their funerals, and I think it was 9 days of like non-stop family. And it's supposed to be a happy thing. Okay, so they are taking care of the cadavers that come from the pediatric and maternity wards. Whoa. That would be hard. I didn't even think of that when you're like cremating a child. Huh. Matthew puts in his 2 weeks notice. You know how unhappy I am working for Megacorp 101. My skills are useful in other professions. I'm not worried. You're too good for this corporate scum. You actually care about the people you work with and for. Don't let them defeat you. Dating a special effects makeup artist, and she's like the coolest person I've ever met in my life. She totally loves Ava's possession and was equally freaked out by the possession scenes, but so utterly delighted at the idea of a support group for people who've been possessed. That was your best recommendation in a while, Charlie. You were slipping there. I was getting worried you'd lost your taste. But yeah, her name's Lily. She's super death positive and isn't freaked out by my work, and also isn't too into it like the last dude I saw. I just really like spending time around her. I can talk about whatever I want, is never a conversation stopper. She also totally gets what I mean when I say that, like, working with death and spending so much time thinking about death actually makes me happier. It makes everything else feel so much more worth it, you know? Memento mori, or whatever they taught us in that one poetry class we took. We just clicked. Feels good. Fun and affirming, like dating should be. I'm thinking of taking her to Maple Meadows. She's super into roller coasters, and I think the idea of sharing cotton candy is sickeningly cute. Or maybe not. I don't want to throw up on the rides. Then maybe I'll kiss her on top of a Ferris wheel. Be super corny and cliche for once in my life. Anywho, enough about me. I'm still kind of in shock from your last email. Do you think you're gonna do it? You know you have my support. 100%, no matter what you decide. Water cremation. The energy consumption is bad on the environment of regular cremation. Basically a water-based chemical process that uses really strong alkali in water heated up. And the excess water gets put through the same treatment as any sewage water at a factory. I think that's what I was talking about. Regarding the last time we spoke, my daughters and I would still prefer to host a home funeral ourselves and keep my wife here until she's ready to be buried. I just want to make sure she's taken care of. Oh, that's slow. I understand your desire to keep your wife at home, but I assure you the best way to honor your wife is through a traditional funeral package instead. Oh, what an ass. Your wife's funeral with us can be a beautiful, intimate gathering. Anyway, he's just trying to upsell everything. He's saying, let us take care of the food. Okay, we'll take the traditional funeral package. I see you were not able to convince them to take a standard funeral. What are you talking about? Didn't he just say that? Oh, I had to contact them myself in order to not lose the sale. Please read the enclosed emails for a lesson on how to properly upsell customers. Ugh. I haven't worked very many jobs that involved sales. I did not like upselling, and I pretty much didn't bother to do it. Like, I don't like to be upsold when I go shopping. There we go. I'm like, that guy feels so slimy. Can you imagine? Like, dealing with people grieving and dead bodies, and like, all you're thinking about is the business and the money of it. That's fucked up. I suppose that happens all the time with healthcare when people are still alive, too. Weird. I don't know, I'm just thinking about how, like, this is the most human thing possible. Dealing with people and bodies at their most vulnerable. don't know how you could turn that into just business. And sew that back up. Drain the body, drain the organs. I wonder what organs I'm draining. And who's Mike? Mike, who takes care of the makeup every time. Little muffins. This feels so impersonal. She would have hated it. Did we do the right thing? I feel bad for not doing what Mom asked for. Poor guy. It's so cold in here. Why do these things always make me hungry? I'm always hungry too. I'm hungry right now. Oh, it's been almost a year. Maybe we'll find out what we wanted to do. Yeah! I thought so. I thought that might be our last one. Did we start our own business? Congratulations on your new business! Charlie, I am so happy for you. I know it's been a rough year. Seriously, I saw your wine. I think our wine intake saw a bazillion% increase. But you've stuck through it all like a champ. You deserve this. Finally being your own boss is a great move for you. No more having to explain anything you don't want to. I'm trying not to be too cheesy right now. Can't wait to be home next week for our visit and check out your new space. Green burial pods. Matthew, never believe what new job I'm working on now. Open this email to find out. When I first became a hearse driver, I was told my important job wasn't steering, it was sympathizing. I respectfully disagree. Thankfully I concentrated on my driving skills, since I'm now working as a, wait for it, bus driver, school bus driver. Can you believe it? Pretty sure if I said the most important part of my job now wasn't steering, I'd be fired immediately. I didn't know how else to tell you. For some reason I was worried you'd think less of me. I don't know why, you've never been the judgmental kind. And besides, corpses are way easier to deal with than children. Screaming children, I might add. I actually love it. These kids can be pretty cute. But don't tell Amy that I told you that. She was always harping on me for not having any kids and being all cynical about them. Congrats on your new business, Charlie. I'm proud of you. Charlie, dear, I'm so proud of you. I knew there was something special in you when I hired you. If there's anything I can do for you, please do not hesitate to ask. I am always happy to help. Today's the day already. I can't believe how quickly this has come up. See you soon. I still didn't click on the website. My bad. Oh, a green burial home. Wow. Funeral home and natural burial park. That was so informative about like so many different ways things can be done. I'm glad I played that.